A very good o'clock, dear students. Here I am Nikita, ma'am, your geography teacher. Students, today we are going to continue our discussion over chapter 13A, that is agro-based industries. Okay, so yesterday we talked about what is industry and why is it important. Today let us see some factors that are affecting the location of an industry. Okay, so as you all know, industries are located at different places and different conditions. Okay, because there are some preconditions which have to be fulfilled before deciding the location of any industry. Okay, so these are some factors that can be classified into two categories. First is the geographic factor and second category is of commercial factors. Okay, so what are the geographic factors? Let us discuss. First is raw material. So any industry to be set up, since it's a process of conversion of raw material to the processed goods, needs some or the other kind of raw material. So always industry should be located on a place where raw material is easily available, and also the transport facilities for the transportation of that raw material to the location of the industry is available. Okay, so that the cost of transportation can be less and it can be more beneficial. Okay, and it can be transported on in timely manner. Okay, so that there cannot be any delay in the production of the product. Okay, so industry should be located near the source of raw material. Okay, examples are there. Many in iron and steel industries are located near coal mines, since they need much of the coal for smelting process. Okay, many cotton textile industries are located near the fields, okay, to get the raw cotton. Because it's a lightweight product, and if the industry will be located too far, then it will cost a lot. Second is a water supply. Okay, every industry needs some or the other kind of water supply for different purposes. Okay, so always it should be taken in mind that water supply is irregular. Okay, there are many purposes of water, like mixing chemicals, dyeing, washing, and many other things, right? So water supply should be available at a cheaper rate. Next we have energy. So energy is a prerequisite to set up any industry. Okay, and it's a very important factor that energy is available at a good cost and regularly. A power cut of 10 minutes or 1 hour in an industry can lead to huge losses. Okay, can lead to stop of production. That's why it's very essential that energy should be regularly available by different sources, and this is the reason that many big industries are located near the power resources, like the hydropower projects. Okay, fourth is transport. So transport is also, as I told you, explained you right now, that it's an important factor that affects the location of an industry. Industry should be located at a place where transport system is good, so that raw material can be supplied to the industry, as well as the finished goods can be taken to market in proper time. Okay, so that some perishable goods which can perish easily, means they can get spoiled, like the dairy products, should be immediately sent to the market for consumption. Okay, next is labor. So labor is also an important factor, since all the work has to be done by the labor. No matter how many machines are there in an industry, at least the labor to operate the industry is needed, right? And in many industries, skilled labor is needed. So it's important that industry should be located at a place where cheap labor is available, okay, or the skilled labor is available. Next is market. So as I told you, some goods are of perishable nature, so nearness to market, industry should be located near to the market, so that the finished goods can be transported immediately. Okay, and the industry should be located near that market in which the demand of its product is high. Okay, so that it can gain much profit without more cost of transportation. Next we have climate. So different kinds of industries are located in different climates. Okay, since no industry can be located in extreme or harsh kind of climate, like in desert area, in very hot climate, okay, or in very cold climate, it's not feasible to run an industry. Okay, like the cotton textile industry, it's never located in a very dry climate because the thread can break frequently in a dry climate. Okay, so it needs a moist climate to be located. Fine. So these were some factors. Now commercial factors means which are related to the business strategy. Okay, first is the government's role. So government has a good role to play. Government policies always provide an uh, incentive to the industry owner to set up its industry. Okay, the people are attracted to invest in that area in which the government is providing incentives. Okay, so it becomes helpful or a motivation to establish industries if government is providing some policies. Then financiers and capitalist. Okay, obviously finance is an negligible. We cannot neglect the need of finance in establishing an industry. There's a huge need of finance. Okay, so it's a commercial factor that enough finance should be available at good prices, at good rate of interest. Okay, for the long times. Okay, so it's also an important factor. Then there's organizational and management skill. Commercial factors also include organizational and management skill. It means that the leadership should be good, the staff should be good. Okay, so that there's no management problem, there's no organizational problem, right? So these were all the factors related to location of an industry. Hope it's clear to you. Let us move to now classification of the industries. Okay, so what about classification of industries? This can be based on several bases. First is on the based on labor. First classification is based on labor, means the number of labor employed in an industry. One is large scale, second is medium, and third is small scale. Then it is based upon raw material and finished goods. Okay, means what kind of raw material and finished goods are produced, right? Used and produced. So if heavy raw materials are used, then it's heavy industry, and if light raw materials are used, then it's light industry. Okay, then it's based on ownership, that who is the owner of the industry. So that classification may be a private sector, the company can be owned by totally private person. Then it can be public sector, like owned by the government. Then it can be joint sector as well, means the share of both public and private. It can be cooperative sector. These are the newly emerging industries in which the people of the same community make their cooperative society to establish a industry. Okay, and next is multinationals, right? The foreign companies which are established here. So these are multinational, means with the cooperation of more than one nation. Okay, now let us move to some details of classification. First is on the basis of strength of labor. Large scale industry, any industry which is an investment in plant and machinery is more than 5 crore. Okay, investment more than 5 crore, then it's known as large scale industry, and hence the large number of people will be employed. Second is medium scale, any industry investment limit from 2 crore to 5 crore will be called as medium scale. Then is the small scale, any industry which has the investment in plant and machinery more than 25 lakh, that will be called the small scale industry. Okay, so this was the classification. Now on the basis of raw material, as I told you, if it uses heavy raw material and produces products which are heavy and bulky, okay, just as iron and steel, okay, marble industry, these are all industries which are examples of heavy industry. Then light industry, which uses light raw material as well as produces light product. Okay, like the cotton textile industry, it's a very light raw material, and also cotton cloth is not a very bulky product. Okay, so that's come under the light industry. Now on the basis of ownership, since the start of land development in India, economy 1951, industries are divided into following 4 classes. Okay, after 1951, when the planning started in India, the 5-year plans, industries have been categorized into 4 parts. That is private sector industry. These are owned by individuals or firms. Okay, totally private, owned by individual without any interference of the government, such as Bajaj, Auto, Tesco, situated at Jamshedpur. These are called private sector industries. Reliance. Okay, all these are private sector industries. And next is public sector industry owned by the state and its agencies like Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, Bhilai Steel Plant, BSNL, any kind of industry which is totally run by the government, then it's called public sector industry. Next is joint sector. Those industries owned jointly by private firms and the state agencies like the Gujarat Alkalis Limited or the Oil India Limited. These are in partnership or these are in joint venture of the private and public partnership. Okay, next is cooperative sector industry. As I told you, these are owned and run cooperatively by the group of people who are generally producer of raw material of the given industry, such as sugar mills. Okay, if some people together produce common raw materials so they come together to form a group called cooperative society of their own to establish industry which can be beneficial to all of them. Okay, and these industries are known as cooperative industry, since one person cannot individually establish an industry. It requires lot of things. Okay, so it's important the people come together to make a organization of their own and community of their own and share the benefits. This is called cooperative sector industry. Now on the basis of source of raw material, okay, on the basis of source of raw material, industries can be divided into agro based, mineral based and forest based. Okay, this is the classification that from where they obtain their raw material. Okay, if they obtain the raw material from agriculture, any kind of raw material that is obtained from agriculture like cotton, okay, like jute, like sugar cane. Okay, so these industries are based on agro based raw material, so these are called agro based industry. Second is mineral based industry, the industry which get their raw material from minerals like iron, steel. Okay, and these are known as the mineral based industries. Okay, example be iron, steel, aluminium, cement industry also. And these are the examples of mineral based. And then forest based, those industries which use forest product as their raw material are called forest based industries. Okay, like the woodworking, the paper industry, okay, rubber industry, all silk industry, these are forest based industries. Now miscellaneous, under miscellaneous you can see two types of other industries, that is cottage industry and consumer industry. What is a cottage industry? This is these industries are set up by artisans, okay, in their own houses. Cottage means a house. Okay, so basically some industries are there which are owned as a heritage. Okay, these are owned as a heritage by some families and they run their industry as a small home business. Okay, a small home business, so that is called cottage industry, and it can be handloom, it can be khadi, leather work, etc. Okay, now consumer industries are those that convert raw material or primary product into commodities which can be directly used by the people. Okay, the industries which produce consumer goods like the soap industry is there. Okay, or scent industry, perfume, like all these industries which sell consumer goods are called the consumer industry. So that's all about the classification of industry. Then we'll discuss the two important industries in the next video. Till then, thank you.